All right, Chicago, this video is going to be about when you do and when you do not need a roofing permit for the city of Chicago. There's a few little idiosyncrasies that you need to know, and I want to go through that here. I get this question a lot. Most of the time, people don't understand when they need a permit and when they don't. So let's talk about it in this video. Here's what the permit's gonna look like. When do you need one? Again, I'm gonna go into a little bit of, just a quick bit of nerdy roofing talk, because that's what it takes to understand the permit process. So we use something called the pitch or the angle. And as roofers, we gotta keep it simple because we're not the smartest in the world. We call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12. How is that calculated? So here's like a 212. You could walk on that roof, relatively easy. You come up to a 10, a 9, 10, 11. I can't walk on that, and you would slide right off. So the pitch or the angle comes into play as to when you need a permit and when you don't. Here they break it down. So a 2 pitch is 9.5, and that's where we draw the line a lot of times with permits. So we're gonna keep this 2 pitch in mind. How is it calculated? You measure over 12 inches on your roof, and you measure up, and that will tell you what the pitch is if you actually do it with a tape measure. Like a 12-12, you could imagine trying to walk that. A 212 is almost flat, and most flat roofs are between a 0 and a 1 pitch. So just give you an update, a little bit of insight into the pitch. So let's talk about quickly when a permit is not required. Now for me, this is a little bit counterintuitive. I would feel like you need a permit for every roof in Chicago, but it's not the case. So any structure between 1 and 4 stories with a pitch that's greater than 212. So, you know, we talked about a 212 is relatively flat. The higher up you go, you don't need a permit. So this is gonna be most asphalt roofs in Chicago, most like single family with a pitched shingle roof. A permit is not required. Seems a little counterintuitive, but that's what the city of Chicago says. Again, it includes almost all shingle roofs in the city. So a house, something like this. You've got an angled roof. I'm guessing this is probably about a 10-12. It's greater than 212, and it's not required. So a house like this, you're getting new shingles on, no permit required. When must you have a permit? Let's talk about this. And this is where some other roofers can skip. You just want to save yourself with the permit. I see a lot of roofers say, oh, you don't need one for a flat roof. You do, it's required by law. So any structure less than 212 does require a building permit in the city of Chicago. I think I have my sign there right. My math skills aren't great. So if it's less than 212 or less than 9.5 degrees, you must get a permit. For a flat roof replacement, basically in Chicago, you need to get a building permit. It requires a permit 100%. Don't let the roofer say, you don't need one, we don't have to do that. Save yourself, protect yourself, and get a permit on a flat roof. Less than 212. So here's a flat roof. We pulled a permit on this. There's a permit required 100%. This happens to be a modified bitumen roof. So here's where the little bit of the idiosyncrasies come into play. Let's say you got a garage. Most of us in Chicago have detached garage. If the structure is less than 600 square feet, which is most 2-car garages in Chicago, whether it be flat or pitched, if it's less than 600 square feet, you're not required to get a permit. And that's regardless of the pitch. The pitch doesn't come into play here. If it's an outbuilding, less than 600 square feet, don't worry about getting a permit. And again, here it just, you know, most 2-car garages qualify for that. They're almost all less than the 600 square feet. 25 by 25 is most of them. So you're around 5 to 6 square, a little less. Greater than 600 square feet, or if it has a rooftop deck, and that's again, regardless of a pitch, the permit is required. So let's say you have a 3-car garage, a coach house, anything that exceeds the 600-foot minimum, you've got to get a permit. Is there an on-site inspection required? So for the flat roofs, almost every one we pull a permit for, an inspection is not required. The easy permit is marked as eligible for inspection. So if you really want to get an inspection, you can. There was a point earlier in the business where we would call the City of Chicago roofing inspectors out to inspect it when it's only eligible for inspection, and we got some not so positive feedback from some of the inspectors. So we really don't do that. We take hundreds of pictures. On occasion, the homeowner said, hey, we really want an inspection. We'll deal with the inspector's, let's call it poor attitude. So we try not to call much. An inspection is not required, but it's eligible. If after 1 year no inspection is done on an easy permit, it's automatically filed by the city and it's over, and you can move on. After 1 calendar year, the permit is automatically marked complete without a site visit. So just another little tip there. How much does a permit cost? We will do all the legwork. My admin, Chris, is amazing at this. She has a great relationship with the people who we pull permits from. It's $475 as of June 2025. For multifamily buildings, like 3 or more, we have to get some documentation signed. We've got a letter that we send to everyone. We send it to you as long as you approve it, sign off. The homeowner has to sign off, and we'll do all the leg work for you. Make sure we get the proper permit is procured. We just ask that the homeowner pay for it. So that's pretty much it for a roofing permit in the city of Chicago. The suburbs, Evanston, Skokie, you go to some of those, and they pretty much all require permits. A lot of times there's still no inspection. Chicago, as most of you know, kind of they play by their own rules, but to kind of summarize, a pitched roof, anything greater than a 10-degree, angle, or a 212, a pitched roof like that, you're not required to get a permit. There's no inspections or anything. On a flat roof in Chicago, you consider that almost all of them, rather than the 600 square feet we talked about on a garage, almost all rooftop flat roofs in Chicago require a building permit. Do yourself a favor, just get it. It's $475. There's no inspection required. One thing that I want to bring up is you do have to have, obviously, Chicago or a Illinois roofing license. And as of January 2024, the city of Chicago also requires that you have a Chicago general contractor's license. So a little more legwork, a little more paperwork. Not all roofing companies like that. You need 2 licenses and quite a few hoops to jump through to get this. But let Anchor Point take care of that for you. Peace of mind. If you're in a 3 or 4 flat and you haven't pulled a permit and you go to sell, the new homeowners could ask, hey, do you have a permit? It's good to just have that piece of paper, peace of mind for $475. Thank you so much for watching my video about Chicago roofing permits and when you need one. If you have any questions, give us a call. You can leave a comment down below and we'll answer it. Thank you for watching.